Okay, got a nice new quad to review here. I think it might, I'm not too sure which one it is actually, because these quads are exactly the same. My old maths teacher would say they were congruent, and I haven't used that word literally since I was a teenager. So they are absolutely the same. The transmitters are, he would argue, they aren't congruent, they're actually similar, and there's a little difference, but only one difference between these two models. And the difference is on the box, this one has got H written on it, and this one doesn't have an H in it. Now the H, when you're new to quads and everything, you wonder what all these letters mean. H means it's got altitude hold. So if we look at the throttle here, if I push it down and or up or do anything with it, it will always come back to center stick. This one here doesn't have altitude hold, so wherever I put the throttle, that's where it will stay. So I think it's a nicer flying experience without the altitude hold, but a lot of beginners, there's a lot going on when you're flying, and so a lot of people want to start with altitude hold, and I'm going to just show you what the difference is. I've done a full review on this one, which will be exactly the same as this one. The only difference is the altitude hold, as I said. So let's get out and have a flight with them.
Okay, so out in the garden, it's an absolute dreich day in the Highlands, absolutely miserable. We've had drizzle all morning, there's a little bit of a gap in it, and I'm sure we're going to get some drizzle this afternoon. But hey ho, that's the way it is. Now with this particular model, you can turn on the transmitter first of all, or turn on the quad. It really doesn't make any difference, so we just do it with the transmitter this time. Plug in the quad. Put it on somewhere level. And then we're going to go up and down on the throttle, that's it, and then as you saw, flashing LEDs there, and then we're bound, ready to go. Now if you need to calibrate it, and I would suggest you calibrate it if you're on somewhere level and you're not going to move it while it's doing it, you pull the two sticks down and out like that, and then you'll get the flashing LEDs, and that calibrates the gyro, so it should fly nice and level. Quick run through the transmitter. These are all your trim buttons. This is auto takeoff, this is auto land, this is your speed rate adjustment, this is the headless mode and also return to home, and this is the flip button, and I'll run through what these two do when we actually get up flying. So you can prime the motor by just simply flicking that, and that will actually prime them, as you can see there, and then we're up and away. So you don't actually have to use the auto takeoff, so it's a bit of a weird thing. Now, as I said, it's got altitude hold, so if I pull down the throttle and then let go, it will actually hold altitude. It's not going to hold position. These things are really nice and safe as well. So going forward, it's push this one here and it will go forward. Turn it around to the right and it's still going forward because it's the quad's orientation with this. If we go into headless mode, forward is that way, backwards towards me, and as you can see, it doesn't matter what direction the quad's facing. So I'm going to turn that off. You get that annoying beeping noise as well. Now this also has a return to home, so if I hold that button down, return to home is gradually going that way, but we're still in low rates, don't forget. Home was over there, so home is just the same as going from headless mode straight out, but that's the only way it will work. To cancel it, just any stick input will do. So that's in low rates, that's in intermediate, and that's in high. Like I say, this thing's not going to be too anxious on anything. But actually, that's doing all right. Okay, to rotate the quad, you simply push this one to the left and it will rotate to the left, as you can see, and that usually alters how fast it goes with what rate you're in. There, that's lowest rate, intermediate, highest rate. So this one never gets too anxious, which is rather nice. We've got the flip button there, press that, it gives itself a little bit of altitude and it will come back roughly to the altitude it was. Press that again, that's it. If you want to land, you literally could just bring it in and just land it on your hand. You don't have to use the land button, and all that does is exactly the same. And if you want to cancel out of landing, you simply just give it a bit of throttle and it will go again. So actually flicking the throttle and pressing that one's exactly the same. And as you can see, it goes up about half a metre, best part of a metre, I suppose. And that's it really. Range is going to be about 30 odd metres. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to fly this thing too far away, to be honest. That's getting on for 30 metres there. Well, it's holding as well, it's doing it. Oh no, we just about ran out of range. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if you could see that, I doubt very much if you could, but because I walked towards it, it actually regained control and it took back off again. So as soon as you run out of the range on the transmitter, or if I kill the transmitter as well, after a little while it will just come down and land. Turn the transmitter back on, and then it binds straight back up. But because all we did was lose the signal but the transmitter didn't go off, as I walk towards it, it comes back on. But you're looking at about 20-25 meters, but I don't know why you'd want to fly this thing anywhere else apart from pretty close to you, really. And because we've turned it off and turned it back on again, we're back in low rates. So you can see how low that is, into intermediate and then into high rates. Woo! I was trying to get it to go through my hands. Hey, there we go. That's better. Whoa! It's actually pretty good fun. Really built as an indoor flyer, and everyone sort of says, why do you fly them outside? I like being outside. It's kind of like where I like to be, especially with flying as well. Also, you can't get told off for hitting anything out here, really. Oh, mind you, with the big quads, I have trimmed some bushes sometimes. Like I say, this thing is really safe. I'm just trying to get it to smack into me at full speed. Now it doesn't want to. There we go. You're really not going to do any damage with it at all. There we go. These are good for grandkids, kids, well, kids of all ages actually. These things are just damn fun. And you can, you know, they're nice, precise little flyers, as you can see. And the nice thing is it'll still climb even if it's in full funnel like that. Flight time's pretty reasonable, and you can get loads of these little 150 milliamp hour batteries. And these skills that you learn with this little tiny thing will serve you for flying virtually anything. Any of the big quads and everything, absolutely no problem at all. Nice. So learn to do some figure of eights. And flight time is really good actually. And like I say, some of these small little ducted fans can't ascend when they're on full roll. And oh, there we go, we've got flashing LEDs, which means we're running low on power. What I was saying there was some of them can't actually, if you're on full pitch and then give throttle, they won't actually go forward. They pitch so much that they can't actually then give it throttle. Now what will happen is when the battery runs low enough, and you won't damage your battery. I've never damaged a LiPo by just running a quad out, and I fly a lot of quads. It will just literally come down and land. So you can just literally fly it till it stops. Obviously you're going to get to a stage where you're going to feel it on the throttle and the controls that it's not responding quite as well as it was. If we give it full throttle, there we go. It's just going there. So there you go, pretty cool. Right, I'll just quickly fire up the other one and just show you the difference. So with that one, like I say, you can plug in either way. You turn on the quad first of all, or the transmitter, entirely up to you. Same thing again, up and down to bind, and then we're bound ready to go. Now obviously this one starts giving it throttle as soon as you move the throttle off the bottom, so about 5-10% up, you'll get it and it will go away. Exactly the same flying experience, but now to get it to hold altitude you have to actually have a bit of input yourself, so you're constantly adjusting, or you could just leave it and it will stay pretty much there. All it does, it just doesn't do it automatically. All the controls are exactly the same, but the thing you can do with this one is you can manually flip it like that. If you give it enough, well, there we go. That was about 3 flips, wasn't it, I think? So again, I've done a video on how to actually manually flip, and you know, I'll leave a link in description for you. Sorry, I'm having so much fun. I'm really not bothered about telling you about anything about this. There we go. Oh, it does flip really nice. Whoa! Obviously it's a little tiny quad, so you're adding a lot of recovery there, but if you actually just flick it once, you'd be able to hold it no problem at all. Whoa, there we go. And you've probably noticed already that we've got a red LED at the front and a blue at the back. I don't know why China do that. I've got no control over that at all. That's just the way they do it. And you can flip sideways, or you can flip forward and back. Or if you're clever, you can do, well, a diagonal one. Let me try and show you the diagonal ones. Quite like those sort of diamond ones. No, it's still not right. There we go, that's better. So the throttle, when you kill the throttle, it will literally just drop out of the sky. There we go, finally did a diamond one for you. Whoa! I personally obviously prefer this because I think you've got more control over it. On the other one, when you kill the throttle, it just comes down really slowly because the motors always spin on an altitude hold. They've always got a little bit of spin in them, and obviously it'll always go back to centre stick. So you can't do this manual flipping with an altitude hold. Well, I've never come across one. If anyone does know of one, let me know. But I can't see how you can because you can never kill the throttle on them. This thing's doing really well. Whoa, there we go. Cool. So there we go. There's the difference between altitude hold and non-altitude hold. So hope that's helped you if you're new to flying, and hopefully you'll make a decision on which one you want. I'll put links to both of them in description, and also I'll put a link to the review on this one as well, and also how to manually flip as well. Hope you've enjoyed that, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.